Jeez Louise. All right. Ugh, craziness this weekend. All right. What's going on, everyone? Chris the Chef Sports Cards here. We're doing 2024 Bowman Baseball, third hobby case break. Number 6. We're starting a fresh case here. And as always, I say welcome, welcome, welcome. Especially for any of you that are new to the channel, welcome. A bit about us. We've been around for over 6 years now. We break mostly baseball. We ship all cards from every break. We're very, that means we ship base. We do. We're very generous with the top loading, and we ship as quickly as our little hands will move. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We do free breaks. When we do them, we use our subscriber list from YouTube for the random. If you want a chance to get in a future free break, just hit the old subscribe button there. Your name will go on the random. eBay continues to run their sweepstakes. There's no purchase necessary there. Go to any of our eBay listings, look in the description. There's a link. You click that, you do what it says, and maybe some free cards show up at your door. Can't hurt to try, right? And then finally, our little slice of the World Wide Web, chefsportscards.com. We've been filling breaks all week, and I thank everybody who's gone over there. We've sold it. We just did another blaster break this afternoon. We got a jumbo and a hobby break tomorrow night. For anybody who's in those are going to be at 8 and 9 o'clock respectively. I put up another blaster random. Blaster random, $17.99 a spot with the Nationals given away. You're not going to find a better deal than that. Those have been filling up quick. We're going to do another one of those. We got a half blaster case, 20-box pick your team break up there with like 8 teams left. And then we got a retail. I have never, in my history of the hobby since a child, have never opened a retail box before, like the 24-pack retail. So we got a 5-box retail break, pick your team also, that I think has 11 teams left in it. So head on over to our website. I guarantee you'll get better pricing there than you will on eBay. And you make me a happy guy. And if we fill any of those other retails, we'll break those tomorrow too. I mean, we'll break them as soon as they fill, but I mean, we're already doing a couple other breaks tomorrow. We'll throw those in the mix if we get them filled up. All right, let's go over the teams. D-backs, Tyler M. Braves, Jose F. Orioles, Robert H. Red Sox, Patrick C. Cubs, Jonas D. White Sox, Patrick C. Reds, Thomas K. Guardians, Bryce T. Rockies, Corey N. Tigers, Greg C. Royals, Brian S. Astros, Patrick C. Angels, Jose F. Dodgers, Steve S. Brewers, Eric G. Twins, Bryce T. Marlins, Jason R. Mets, Daniel T. Yankees, Patrick C. A's, Lance R. Phillies, Jacob C. Pirates, Elliot T. Cardinals, Mark P. Padres, Daniel T. Giants, Jason R. Mariners, Coastal Cards. Rays, Robert H. Rangers, Jason R. Blue Jays, David D. And Nationals, Patrick C. All right. Let's open some cards. Good luck, everybody. Good luck, everybody. I could just get the boxes open. I've been working a lot the last 3 days. I'm a little punchy at this point, a little bit. All right. And we're off. Good luck, everyone. Lombard AI. That's a guy we need to find. We haven't found any of his stuff yet. Drake and Morgan Chromes. We found a lot of the big guy stuff, but we haven't found anything of George Lombard yet. Nolan, rookie of the year. Matt Shaw and Xavier Isaac Chromes. Oh my gosh. Allergies are just annihilating me. My nose, I swear I feel like someone punched me in the nose. My nose hurts so bad from blowing it. Dylan Head for the Padres on the Lunar. And Zavala, Jackson Churio. Daniel's got the Padres. So if you haven't been in a Bowman break with us before, if you're new to the channel, we sleeve in top load, hits, variations, parallels, the normal. And then any of the top guys' chromes, like the top 10 guys, basically, and papers of Dylan Cruz also. Celestine and Anthony. Ellie De La Cruz, rookie. And, oh boy. Look at that monster right there. Wow. Eric's been killing it for the last couple days. Eric G. Brock Wilkins, 40 of 100. Monster hit. Congrats, my friend. That's a beauty. Come on, focus. Focus. Wow. Very nice hit. Congrats, my friend. He good. All right. Serna, Taylor, Arias, Langford, and Honeyman. Basalo. Silva and Williams. Give me a second, guys. I gotta take my sweatshirt off. I'm sweating already. Ugh. All right, that's better. Schwaba. Colton Cowser, rookie. Lawler AI. There's a Cespedes and Forrester. Cespedes for the rest of us. Splish splash, I'm digging on back. Come on, focus there, Maxie. Scherzer. Kyle Teal, top 100. There's another Brock Wilkins. Let's see, Juan Soto, and for Boston, Yanifrin Garcia. 56 of 125 on the Aqua Wave. Patrick. Arjan Namala. Gonzalez and Foster. Wyatt Langford. JD Gonzalez and Cam Collier. That's weird. Usually, I was just wondering why. Usually, these two have been together, the JD and Gabriel Gonzalez. I guess the one got in between them, so they're in the next pack. Vander Canario. Aiden Miller, Rising Infernos. One per box. Vicky and Lee. Justin Crawford, top 100. Sanchez and Gutierrez. Sebastian Walcott, AI. Bryce Matthews and Timur Johnson, Chrome. Prospect Power Up, Dylan Cruz. Weimer and Merrill. Daniel Susak, Lunar for Oakland. For Lance. Troy and Arias, Chromes. Dominguez rookie. Nimala top 100. Brooks Brannan and Marcelo Mayer. Chrome. And Ramon Landetta on the mini diamond, one per box. For Lance. Grab my drink. Yeah, busy weekend, to be honest. For very little payoff, to be honest. Hernandez and Montgomery. I love doing Bowman, but it's never a moneymaker. That's for sure. Too expensive for eBay. But as long as I break even, I'm okay with it. Lawler rookie, your favorites? Naylor and Arias. There was a time back when it wasn't so crazy expensive as it is now. I mean, back when we used to buy, hobby boxes for like $125, $150 instead of, $300 or whatever they are now. Paul Skeens. Ellen Castro and Elijah Green. Jackson Holiday. Baez paper. Max Wagner and Jones. And James Woods Prospect Power Up Green Aqua, 53 of 125 for the Nationals. For Patrick. Excuse me. Jacob Gonzalez and Riggio. Eston Kerstedt, either your favorites. Bryce Eldridge and Valdez. And for Cincinnati, Carlos Sanchez, Paisley paper, 125 of 125 on the blue and white Paisley. For Thomas. Here you go, buddy. John Cruz and Brian Acuna. Jefferson Cuero. Here's a Dylan Cruz. Chrome and Fernandez. All right. Box number 3. Or box number 2. Geez, what am I? I'm 3 boxes left is what I meant to say. Box number 2, 3 boxes left. Yeah, something like that. De La Cruz rookie. Jackson Holiday AI. Santana and Honeyman. Oh, man. I'm serious. My nose hurts so bad from blowing it. I feel like someone punched me. Ugh. Ada Miller, top 100. Valencia and Williams. Tony Ruiz and Brooks Lee. Oh my God, I heard Prince today, and now it's been stuck in my head all day. Prince could make a catchy tune, that's for sure. Curtis Mead, rookie of the year favorites. Glad and Diaz. And for the Phillies, Raylan Heredia. Lime green, 341 of 399. The Bowman paper. For Jacob. You will never run away. Yoandy Maradas. Bradfield and Arroyo. Chromes. Jacob Wilson, top 100. Farmello and Young. You got the full case player break, a 21 leaf Valiant coming up next. That'd be at 10:30. Max Clark, AI. And then Jumbo Bowman will be after that. Wyatt Langford, power up. Ramirez and Jones. Ooh, Kyle Teal for Boston on the Lunar. Scholl and Ahuna. Ahuna. For Patrick. Excuse me. The worst part of it is like I get these allergies that I never had allergies till like 10 years ago. And in the last 10 years, they've gotten so bad. But I don't do well with allergy medicine at all. It makes me really loopy. Montas, even like when they say it's non-drowsy, I don't know what it is. It's just, I'm missing something in my body, a chemical or something, Radiant Jung. Like I take it, and so I always have to just like tough it out, do nasal spray and stuff like that. But oh man, how you could go through the first 40 years of your life without an allergy, and then it's just not fair. Adrian Santana on the 1 per box mini diamond. Colt Emerson and Rios. It's funny too because like when I was in culinary school, they always talked about how body chemistry changes every 7 years and blah blah blah, and that's you have to make sure you're making people aware of any allergies and this and that. And I always thought it was kind of like I don't know why, like wives' tale. Because I never had allergies my whole life. I was never allergic to food or anything like that. Mason Win rookie. And then all of a sudden, one day, I'm like, why can't I breathe? I go and see the doctor. Like, you have allergies? I'm like, no, I don't. Never had them in my life. I'm like, you do now. I'm like, oh, God. James Wood. Keishel and Vredenberg. Yeah, no, can't take it. Tried it. Believe me, I've tried them all. Allegra, Claritin, over the counter, behind the counter, through the counter, under the counter. I tried them all. I get wacky. I don't know what it is. It just makes me like, like I don't know why. There's something with like over the counter medications in me. I don't react well to any of them. The worst is like cold medicine. Oh my god. Like if I take like Dayquil or something like that, ugh, I feel like a dried out piece of toast. I take that stuff. Like it's brutal. I'd rather be sick, Calzer and Blake Mitchell watching the green grass grow. 91 of 99 for the Royals. For some reason, like in my life when I was younger, I had some issues, of course, some addiction issues and this and that. I could take any illicit substance and function just fine, but I take over the counter stuff and I'm like, I can't function. Yeah, but it's not like a good wacky. You know what I mean? Like, believe me, I'm all down with a fun wacky. Because I've been sober 19 years, so the occasional fun wacky's okay with me. But like, it's just so strange. Basalo and there's a nice Barack Porter. Barack Porter refractor, 271 of 499. It's funny. Back in my days when I was, imbibing, let's call it that, I honestly could and did do anything you can imagine to excess. But if I took like Valium or Xanax, I was done. Like I couldn't even function. I don't know why. There's something with pharmaceuticals that don't sit well with me. Susak and Sim. I don't know if I ever told this story, but so I've been sober for 19 years. And I did everything, but I had a bigger drug problem than drinking problem, but they were all problems. So anyway, about 2 years ago, Drew Jones Rising Inferno, My business partner was at a Dillon Head and Gwinnett was at a dispensary for. He has a medical marijuana. They have medical marijuana in Pennsylvania. It's basically like legal here. I don't even know what the laws are because I don't really use. But anyway, he bought me some extract liquid or something. I didn't even ask. I don't even know why he bought it for me. He's like, "Oh, I got this for you. I thought you might like to have it in the house." And it's like, it's an extract. You put it under your tongue, and it's like a liquid form, and it's supposed to help with pain and this and that, whatever. And I brought it home and I showed it to my wife, and I was like, "Yeah, this is here." I put it in the safe in our house, like, and it sat here for the better part of a year. And one day I was at work and I was like, you know what? I want to try that stuff because somebody was talking to me about it or whatever. And I was like, Ellie De La Cruz, AI rookie. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And so it was like a weekend night. I must not have been breaking, which is weird because I always break on the weekends. But for some reason, I had the night off or something. And now you have to understand, I used to smoke a lot of weed back in the day, but hadn't had anything like that in like almost 20 years. And certainly not at the strengths that things are at these days. Like, I didn't even think about that. So anyway, it's like a little vial. It's just a dropper. You just take a dropper, you put it under your tongue, and an hour and a half later, you are, Well, and that was kind of the funny thing of it because Jacob Burke and Jackson Holiday, I was thinking back to my old days, smoke a joint, a couple minutes later, you feeling good, blah, blah, blah. So, and I didn't even think I took a full dose of this stuff, wanting to try it out. Not thinking that, hey, you haven't done this in 20 years, maybe a half or a third or a quarter or a tenth would be the way to go. Jared Geronimo on the Lunar. So I take it, and I was doing some work on the computer or whatever, and like an hour goes by, and I was like, I guess this stuff doesn't work. I don't know what the big deal is. About a half hour later, I was in my basement because all my clothes I keep in a closet in the basement. It's just the way our house is. And I go down there to get changed to go to bed, and next thing I know, I can't like climb the steps. It literally takes me like 3 hours to get up the steps from my basement. I am melted ice cream at this point. Amador. And made it to the couch finally in my living room. Kyle Teal was freaking out. I got to be honest, which is not something I say lightly considering I was an all-star at one point in my life, I was literally on the couch, eyes closed, like talking to myself, like, you're okay. Don't lose it. I fall asleep sitting on my couch, and I'm asleep for like 17 hours before I wake up. Carlos Silva for the 20s. And my wife, I said the next day to my wife, I was like, weren't you worried? She's like, oh, I checked to make sure you're breathing a couple times, but she's like, I figured you needed to sleep. Oh, it's way different than it was in the 80s and 90s. Like, I didn't feel, it was more like, I don't want to, it was more like I was on heroin or something than I was on weed. That's how strong that stuff was. Bryce, there you go, buddy. Like, and I told my wife the next morning, like, what I had done. And she was like, well, you obviously needed to sleep. And I was just like, and it took me 2 days. Like, the whole next day, I was hurting. And, like, not wasted or anything, just, like, and not even hungover, just fried, Needless to say, it sat in the safe ever since. I never touched it again. I said, well, my days are obviously over. I tried to come back, and it wasn't happening. Oh, man, the stuff we got when we were kids, like in the 80s, well, not the 70s, but in the 80s, you had to smoke half the bag to get something. But we also used to buy, lids of weed for like $25, This stuff now is industrial strength. There's no doubt about that. But I'll tell you one thing from a medicinal aspect, and not to say that marijuana isn't always that way, but I understand why people are using it for, pain and stuff like that, because you don't feel anything on that stuff. I mean, you are numb as it gets. And it's a hell of a lot better for you than the, painkillers and stuff out there. But I do understand it, that's for sure. Namala. So that was my that was my attempt at being cool in my old age. And all it did was freak me out, basically. I know there's probably some young kid watching, like, what a lightweight. Yeah. I'd have gone toe to toe back in the day with you, but not anymore. Carson Roquefort, Lombardo, and Diaz. Yeah, no, there's I don't that was an experience. There's no doubt about it. I honestly like it, and the thing was, they took forever to come on, but when it came on, it hit like a freight train. And I was like, went from being fine to being like, oh, like I couldn't even talk. Ben Williamson and Arroyo, and that's kind of what amazes me about people who use this stuff nowadays and use it every day, all day. I'm like, I mean, I used to use it every day, all day too, but the strength was about 15% of what it is now. I don't know how you function on that stuff. Novelli Marte. So anyway, it's here if we ever need it. That's kind of the way I look at it. Cheerio and young, but otherwise it's better off not sitting in the medicine cabinet. Heston Kjerstad, rookie. 148 of 299 for Baltimore. For Robert. Yeah, I've heard that too. Like, because it has such a delay. That really was the thing. Look, I mean, like, I had edibles back when I was, using myself. So I knew there was a longer gestation period to it, but it's, usually it's like 45 minutes. It's like if you take mushrooms or do something like that. But yeah, it took at least an hour and a half to kick in. So I can understand that people would be like, oh, this isn't working. Let's take some more. Did you ever see Wolf of Wall Street? When he takes the ludes and they take forever to kick in and they keep taking more. That's what I felt like. Exactly like that. I can completely relate to that scene in that movie. That's what I felt like that night. Ethan Salas. Baptiste and Ahuna. Xavier Isaac. Blake Mitchell, Jace Young. And let me move some base before we have an avalanche on our hands. Well, that's like with the people with that Narcan stuff, for people who OD on opiates. My business partner, his sister died that way, where she was overdosing, and they gave her Narcan to come out of it, and there's no like law around where like most people think there should be a law around if you use Narcan, you have to be hospitalized for like 3 days, kind of like a psych hold almost. And at the time, this was 5 years ago or whatever. Um, like she was ODing in some bathroom in, some restaurant somewhere in North Philly, and the paramedics came and they gave her Narcan and pulled her out of it. And of course, she, as an addict, just walked away. Kemp Alderman for the Marlins, like, no, no, I'm fine, I'll be fine, and then went home and used more, and because it makes you feel like you have to use, and then it's the other stuff still in your system, and then she died. Like, this stuff is a wonder drug, but at the same time, it's stuff's too strong these days. Rivera and Rios. Oh yeah, yeah. See, that's not my bag. I mean, I don't care. Like, people can. I don't mind people having guns and stuff. It's just something I never grew up with. It's funny. I was just having this conversation with someone a few days ago. Anderson and Bonilla. Some of the guys I buy a lot of cards from, they all carry, and there was like, oh, you should, blah blah blah. And it's like I can't tell you. I don't know if I've ever even shot a gun in my life, to be honest with you. I can't remember. I think I might went hunting one time, but I don't even know if I shot the gun. Like, is this not something I grew up with or ever it was ever around or anything. But I don't have anything against it. I think some of them are a little. Augustine Ramirez for the Yankees. I don't know if we necessarily need the uh, point and click, the AR-15 type of guns and stuff. They're a little too easy to use, but I'm kind of a believer that everyone should just be given like a 6-shooter at birth, you know, and that's it. Everybody gets a 6-shooter at birth, and everybody knows everyone's carrying. And you want to start trouble? Well, you know what's around the corner. It seems like a good way to go to me for this country. Pete Crow Armstrong, Rookie of the Year. Wolko and Crawford. Yeah, I just, especially in recent years. I mean, I don't want to talk politics or anything like that at all. I don't. It's just you see some of these shootings and stuff that are going on, and it seems to me, as a person who knows nothing about weapons, that they're very easy to use to cause a lot of damage. Whereas, I mean, if some of these people who walked into these situations and killed 20 or 30 people had handguns, they wouldn't do nearly that much damage. And that is a complete novice's, if I'm wrong, I might be wrong. I don't know, but some of them just seem like a little easy to use. Tejada and Sims. I want guys who can kill like that to have some serious training, you know? It's the old type of guys. Or at least make them harder to come by, you know? Ooh, there we go. Nice Walker Jenkins for the Twinnies. 399 of 399, last to print. Very nice. Bryce, here you go, bud. No, I understand that. I'm not talking about deaths in general. I'm talking about single shootings, like mass shootings at one time. I realize that there's a lot of handgun deaths, way more than anything in this country. I'm talking about the situation where somebody walks into a crowded place and starts shooting, you know. And certainly not that they can't do damage with handguns too, but it seems like takes a little more skill and a little more time, that maybe it would help some of these people to survive these situations. But again, like I said, amateur opinion all the way. Rodriguez and Bush. Ellie De La Cruz, Rising Inferno's rookie. Suaro and Acuna. Yankiel Fernandez, top 100. Rucker and Holiday. Colson Montgomery, AI. Deturi and Hurley. Austin Wells, Rookie of the Year favorites. Arjun Namala and Walton. Yamamoto, rookie. Carson Rookifer. Paul Skeens and Nivens. Not a bad debut for Skeens today. Yeah, 7 hits, 3 runs, I think he gave up. 6 or 7 strikeouts in 4 innings or something like that. Brady House. Dylan Cruz paper. Elkin and Jimenez. Which game, Tom? Which game was wild? The Pirates game? I didn't see it. I just read a little bit about it online. Brian Wu, a rookie auto for Seattle. For Coastal Cards. Here you go, buddy. Brian Wu. Yeah. Tom? What happened? I mean, why was it so crazy? I'm sorry, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't see any highlights. I just read a little bit online. Six walks, 1 hit batter after he was pulled. Oh my gosh. Pratt and did they just pull him because he was on a pitch count? I mean, he wasn't. I mean, I know his line wasn't, you know, great, but it wasn't bad either. I mean, did they just have him? They were going to let him pitch 4 innings, and that was it. Jackson Holiday power up. Yeah. Baez and Clifford. Baez, we need the sleeve. He good. Okay, box number 4. Good luck, everybody. 2 on 1 out. No reason to pull him. Yeah. Nah. I often wonder, you know, I saw a thing the other day. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this. It was on Instagram. Actually, I think it was on Facebook. And it was an old This Is Your Life from 1955. And they had Cy Young as the This Is Your Life. And for anybody who doesn't know what This Is Your Life is, they used to bring out famous people that maybe aren't so too recognizable or people with a famous story. And then a panel of people would ask them questions and try to figure out who they were. And granted, this was 1955, and Cy Young was a dinosaur at that point, right? He looked like he could barely walk. He couldn't talk so good, I can tell you that. But like he was going through his stats of like, you know, there was some World Series he won where he pitched both ends of a doubleheader and won both games, and this, and then you see how they treat pitchers nowadays. It's crazy. It's so amazing. Swear on Acuna. I mean, I know it all has to do with money, but I mean, you think of how many times you've watched a game that a team where your team has lost And the pitcher got pulled just because it was, well, we said we were going to use them for 75 pitches. Even though they're pitching well, they're in a good situation, we're going to pull them anyway. And then the bullpen comes in and just, gives it up. It's crazy. It happens all the time. Rucker and Holiday. I mean, I suppose the opposite is you can argue it from the opposite. Well, what if the guy gets shelled? Well, if the guy gets shelled, you pull him. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it's supposed to work. But if the guy's doing okay, leave him be, Yeah, like Snell World Series, it's true. It's just they're treated in such a way. Wow, another one of these. We pulled one of these yesterday. Gladiators of the Diamond Celestine Gold, 12 of 50. The one yesterday was 12 of 52. It was Ethan Salas. Gladiators of the Diamond Gold. For Coastal Cards. There you go, nice one. Very cool card. Holy Moses. Turi and Hurley. Yeah, well, that's kind of the weird thing about baseball anymore, especially since they lost, since now the DH is, I mean, honestly, how much does a person really have to do to be a manager of a baseball team? I mean, you at least Namala and Walt, at least with the, without the DH in the NL, you had, the double switch and, stuff like that. I mean, there was at least some strategy there, but honestly, I mean, other than handing in a card and coming out and fighting with the umps every once in a while, I don't know how much managers really do anymore. That, the guy playing first could do the same thing, Ben Williamson, number 29 of 150. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike managers or anything. It just, there was a time where, there was a little more strategy involved, but now with DH all around, it's not quite so much anymore. Coastal Cards. Never understood pitch count. Japanese guys pitching every day. Yeah, well, and again, I mean, with all sports, it's hard to compare eras, Skeens and Nivens, but I mean, those guys back in the day used to pitch every day, I mean, I guess it all just comes down to money, and if you used it and pitched every day, I guess you'd be used to it. And if you don't, you don't. So you get injured. But, Dylan Cruz paper, the MLB put themselves in this situation by, I don't want to say babying, but it's kind of what they've done over the years to make it to what it is. But the multi-billion-dollar industry, so I guess who can really argue with that too? Sebastian Walcott. Like, if I owned a team, I'd go back to the day of like player coaches, Cooper Pratt and Brendo Mayo, because the guy on the field probably has a better hang on what's going on than anything, Wyatt Langford, power up. Baez and Clifford. Well, you look at some of the decisions. I mean, I always think of Walker Bueller, Valdez on the Lunar, Walker Jenkins first, and Montez. He gets taken first overall by Houston. They don't like his physical, not because he's hurt at the time, but they're worried that he's going to be hurt 5 years down the road. So they don't give him number one money. They don't sign him. He goes back into the draft, gets drafted the next year, 22nd overall in the first round by the Dodgers, who then proceeds to use him for 3-4 years, and he's a great pitcher. Then he has to take a few years off, which he just did to fix whatever was wrong, and now he's back. Like, sometimes you can think a little too hard about things, I don't know. I mean, and I don't even know that the injury that he was out for is what they thought he was going to have, but I assume he had TJ surgery or whatever. Clark and Morales. Would have been as successful as a manager in Minnesota. The Pirates don't think it all sometimes. Well, you could say that about many teams, to be honest with you. I can understand being a Pirates fan can be very frustrating. Um, they go on runs where they look good and then they fall apart. There's a Herman Ramirez. They tend to be like a minor league team because once they get a good player, then they go to the Yankees or they go to Morabel and Green like that. I can see that as really being, oh, here we go. We got this great player now. Now somebody's going to come and take him to the big team. you know, I always feel like the Pirates always start strong every year. Oh, maybe this is the Pirates' year, and then by the time you hit like June or July, it's like, meh. They kind of come back down to earth. My father's from Pittsburgh, so I always paid attention to Pittsburgh sports over the years. Lawler, rookie of the year favorites. Not to say they didn't have you know their time back in the day. They certainly had some success. There's no doubt about it. But recently, in recent years, they've looked like the 4A team for the Yankees. Lawler, Lesko, and Origio. yeah, football's been great. That's always a big argument between my father and I over the years. My father grew up in Pittsburgh, right downtown on the other side of Mount Washington, a place called Beltsuver Avenue. Luis Acuna, which is not a very nice place. He lived there in the 40s and 50s. Miller and Valdez, a very blue collar steelworker area of the city. Now it's you don't want to live there, but he moved to Philadelphia, when he was 25 years old. So he's lived in Philadelphia for 50 years. And he's a big Eagles fan until the Steelers are winning. Then the Steelers stuff comes out. And I was getting mad at him. All of a sudden, he had the Steelers hat on. Deterry for the Brew Crew. 158 of 199. For Eric. And then he always gives me the what? What? I'm from Pittsburgh. Like, you haven't lived in Pittsburgh in 50 years, man. You're going to get kicked out of Philadelphia acting like that. Burrows and Acuna, they take that stuff seriously around here. He's a trip. Basayo. Smith and Fernandez. All right, last handful of packs. Oh, my nose. Roman Anthony, Rising Infernos. Uzo and Johnson. Jason Dominguez, rookie. Wyatt Langford. Solace and Jackson Merrill. Lombardo. Garcia and Arias. Nolan, rookie of the year. Benitez and Meyer. The last few packs. Brian Acuna, Lunar. Velasquez and Montgomery. Dylan Cruz, top 100. Bovey and Arias. Is it some gold? Is it an auto? Yes, it is. It's like a yellow auto. Good luck, everyone. See what we got. Soto and Aiden Smith. 14 of 50 gold. Aiden Smith for Seattle. Coastal Cards, very nice, my friend. Who doesn't want a gold first auto? Nice hit. George and Forrest. All right, last pack. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Langford, Colin Houck, and Sabin Ceballos to finish it up. All righty, folks. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. As always, I couldn't do this without y'all, and I do truly appreciate it. If you're not in any of our other breaks tonight, please stay safe, stay healthy out there. We are going to do some website breaks tomorrow night, so you want to go check out what's still available on the website, chefsportscards.com. Still got some spaces available over there. And bear with me for a sec while I put this hit recap together. All righty. We had some goodies in here tonight. Some goodies for the children. Okay. Hit recap for 2024 Bowman Baseball Third Hobby Case Break number 6. So we got a bunch of stuff in here. Rising Infernos and First Chromes, the top guys, and papers of Dylan Cruz. These will all be sleeved and top loaded. Just kind of flip through them all real quick. All right, so we'll take care of those guys. Non-numbered parallels, starting with the Lunars. Valdez, Acuna, Rocafort, Teal, Head, Susac, Alderman, and that guy who I can't say his name. I don't think anybody can. Non-numbered mini diamond of Santana, Landetta, Ramirez, and Ramirez again. Numbered parallels, paper, Carlos Sanchez, 125 of 125, Raylan Heredia to 399, Heston Kjerstad, rookie to 299, and Ben Williamson to 150. Chrome parallels, Walker Jenkins, 399 of 399, DeTuro to 199, Garcia to 125, Brock Porter to 499, Blake Mitchell to 99, And James Woods to 125. Oh, and we also had the Gladiators of Diamond Gold, Celestine to 50. And autographs, Carlos Silva for the Twinnies, Brian Wu, a rookie auto for Seattle, Brock Wilkins to 100 for the Brew Crew. Very nice. And a very, very, very nice Aiden Smith, gold, 14 of 50. Some beauties in that one. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Again, have a wonderful, safe, and healthy evening. We'll be back in 5 with Valiant. Have a great night. Take care. Bye.